回到新闻现场，带您关心到女股神凯西伍德以颠覆性创新投资而闻名，旋风来台的行程当中，也特别的抽空接受非凡新闻的独家专访，谈到了台积电，他认为这是一家很特别的公司，而且 AI 所带动的需求是比市场想象的更强劲。更持久，并使台积电成为主要受益者，而这也是他在上一季买入台积电的重要原因。此外，他也认为股市的牛市将会持续 ，AI 没有过热，会是最具颠覆性而且最深远的科技发展。请看我们的关键对话。
关键时刻掌握关键对话。大家好，我是思翰。这一回关键对话迎来了重量级嘉宾哦，在台湾非常多人叫她女股神，也有人亲切一点叫她木头姐。她就是掌舵方舟投资的 凯西伍德，第一次在台湾进行公开的演讲，要分享的就是她所坚信的颠覆式创新投资理念如何带来高报酬。当然也接受了非凡新闻的独家专访，第一次对台湾的电视媒体专访就献给非凡了。要一起来聊聊她对于美股后市 AI 的发展，甚至是对于台积电有什么样的看法？
Hello, Taiwan. I'm so happy to be back.
Okay, so first of all, let's go straight to the point. ARK's ETF is really different from the traditional funds. So how do you see the biggest difference between your fund and the traditional ones?
Yes, traditional ones, they look very much like some of the broad-based benchmarks out there today. So S&P 500, NASDAQ, MSCI World, or AQUI. And a lot of investors have decided that this is the right way to invest. We are a very good complement to those kinds of portfolios because our style, our research is focused on the future. And the stocks in the indexes today are there because their companies have been very successful over the years. Our focus is on disruptive innovation, technologically enabled disruptive innovation. If our research is correct, the traditional world order is going to be disrupted.
In addition, many investors still used to see ARKK as a high beta portfolio. And if it's like a high beta portfolio, some people will not hold it for a really long time. Do you agree with that view?
So our investment time horizon, as we are analyzing companies, is 5 years. Now, there are individuals and institutions who have a long-term mindset when it comes to investing. It is those people, I think, who will do very well with our funds. Our funds are more volatile than the more broad-based benchmarks because they're full of young and vibrant companies that are going to transform the world and scale dramatically. It just doesn't go straight up.
In Taiwan, a lot of people like to compare you with Warren Buffett, and they even called you the female version of Buffett. I know that your style are quite different, but actually this year, ARKK's performance is much more better compared to BRKA. So do you think it's because of his retirement, or it's due to the fundamentally the strategy of your investment are totally different?
Yes, Warren Buffett is a great investor, and I'm very honored that anyone, or flattered that anyone would think that that I am the equivalent. However, when I look at what Warren Buffett has accomplished in his investment career, his biggest successes have been Contrarian. With deep research on these companies, was willing to take a risk. And many of those worked out very well. He bought Bank of America and I think Goldman Sachs at the bottom in 08, 09. ARK is not that kind of value investor. But believe it or not, even though we're considered aggressive growth, I would tell you, if you give us a 5-year investment time horizon, then we are a deep value manager, and we are contrarian, because many investors would not load up their portfolios with just innovative companies. But those disruptors are using technologies that are going to cut across economic sectors and benefit many sectors. So I would say we're alike in that we're deep value. We believe there's value in stocks that others are not attracted to in the short term because they are volatile.
Do you think TSMC is also this kind of company? Because I think, if I'm right, I remember Buffett sold off all the TSMC stock 2 years ago, and the reason he say is geopolitical risk. Yeah, but actually I remember ARKK bought TSMC last quarter. So what make you make this decision, and what kind of company do you think TSMC is? Like the weakness, or maybe the strength, or even the potential risk?
TSMC is one special company, let me tell you that. And for a while we did stay away because of all of the saber rattling around China, Taiwan. But we think something's changing, especially because of the new slogan, new productive resources, right? And so he's very focused on innovation and growth and getting out of the deflationary spiral caused by the property collapse. Yeah. Today, think about it. President Trump, given all of his tirades against China, people know that he doesn't quite trust China. And so if he now starts striking deals, after all the tariff turmoil, if he starts striking deals with China, people will trust that they are good deals. So IP theft and a loss of trust because of that has been a big problem between the two countries. Maybe that's going to change. And when it comes to innovation, so back to TSM, TSM is going to be a prime beneficiary if what I just said is correct. And yes, we did use the tariff turmoil in the second quarter, which hit stocks significantly, because we thought that was going to be a very short-term problem. We believe that President Trump is taking all of the bad medicine, or delivering the tough medicine, early in his term, and he now, as we're moving through this period, wants these next 3.5 years to be the greatest that the U.S. has ever had, economically, and I would say politically and geopolitically. So I think TSM is going to be in a very good position if that is the outcome.
As I mentioned, TSMC is like a biggest and maybe one of the most important company in Taiwan. So the investment in the USA is a quite controversial issue in Taiwan, because some people think maybe that the most advantaged scale have to stay in Taiwan. But from the foreign investors' point of view, I mean, the investment in the USA, on the surface it like higher the cost and lower the margin, but it's actually reduced the geopolitical uncertainty. Is that correct?
Yes, I think it makes sense to diversify geographically for geopolitical reasons, yes, but also to move closer to customers. And as far as the high cost and lower margins, it's been very interesting to see TSM's gross margins increase to more than 58%. And what they're saying is, okay, we face a few years of headwinds. I think no matter if they were putting up fabs anywhere, here in Taiwan, as many as there are right now, they would be facing those startup kind of headwinds. But to see the margins, they're predicting the margins will stay in the 50s. I remember years when gross margins were in the 40s. So It's a price to pay, but it's a price to pay anytime you're starting up a lot of new fabs to satisfy the tremendous demand caused by AI.
And we also want to talk about Tesla because Tesla is still like the biggest part of ARKK. But the owner of Tesla, with Elon Musk, his political movement, will that affect your investment in Tesla?
So we do agree that there has been that the brand has been hit to some extent around the world, but we're just happy Tesla is no longer an EV manufacturer.
Yeah, of course.
It is a robotaxi manufacturer, starting with the Model Ys, which will be fully autonomous, and then the Cybercab, again fully autonomous, and ultimately the Cybertruck. I think the stock's around $350 today. Our price target, and we're public with this, is $2,600 by 2030. 90% of that valuation is because of robo-taxis, and we're not even including humanoid robots. It's completely transformative and takes Tesla out of this category called automobiles.
Right now, the U.S. economy, I think, is shifting from the rolling recession into an unexpected recovery. And actually, like last quarter, a lot of companies doing quite well. So, do you think the bull market will continue? And if so, which sectors should Taiwanese investors should pay more attention on?
We absolutely do think that the bull market has begun. Now, many people will say, what do you mean begun? Because it was hitting all-time highs last year. But if you look at the nature of the bull market up to then, it was very concentrated to the Mag 6. Now the market's broadening out, and there are many reasons for it. Massive deregulation in the US, massive tax cuts in the US, especially for corporations. So I think we're going to see a huge amount of foreign direct investment. Now we're seeing a lot of capital movement involving IPOs, M&A, lots of liquidity events. I think this could be the bull market of my lifetime.
So the AI is not overheated?
No. I think AI is the most provocative and profound technology ever to exist. Autonomous mobility will be the biggest application, but the most profound applications are going to be in healthcare, curing disease, discovering cancer and other diseases with blood tests in stage 1. A whole new world.
Well, Kathy, I'm happy to hear that, and thanks for your time. 如同刚 Kathy 所说的，牛市还在持续当中，而且正是 AI 引领着大家往前去做冲刺。不只是台积电，不管是台湾的企业，或者是一般的投资人，透过这个颠覆式创新投资的理念呢，其实都有机会来参与这一场千载难逢的 AI 盛宴。以上就是今天的关键对话，我是思翰，我们下次见。
财经新闻不漏接，赶快下载非凡新闻 APP。